Now, the ex-Formula One team boss, Eddie Jordan, has died aged 76 after a 12-month battle with cancer. He passed away peacefully with family by his side in Cape Town in the early hours of the morning. The TV pundit and entrepreneur had recently become patron of London Irish Rugby Football Club. His family has issued this statement this morning. Eddie Jordan brought an abundance of charisma, energy and Irish charm everywhere he went. We all have a huge hole missing without his presence. He will be missed by so many people, but he leaves us with tons of great memories to keep us smiling through our sorrow. Let's bring in our sports correspondent, Rob Harris now. Rob, a very charismatic, as the statement made clear, infectiously charismatic TV correspondent and Formula One team owner. But in Formula One, he really left his mark. He gave the first breaks to some legendary drivers.
Yeah, Eddie Jordan gave a debut in Formula One to Michael Schumacher in 1991 with his own Jordan F1 team, and what a career Schumacher went on to have with his 7 world titles. And it just showed his influence across the entire world of motorsport. He never made it himself at the top levels as a driver. He was involved in single-seater racing and karting as well, but then found his way into F1, and not only giving Michael Schumacher a debut, also involved with brother Ralf Schumacher, Damon Hill as well. And his team even surprisingly challenged for the title in 1999, the Constructors' title. They ended up winning 4 races and finished 3rd. And he was such a presence across the paddock, even after eventually selling his team in 2005. He reinvented himself as a TV pundit across the BBC and Channel 4, and was known really for his forthright opinions and really that energy he brought to the world of F1. And this news, the devastating news, coming just around the time as the F1 World prepares for the Chinese Grand Prix. And it was in the last year he revealed his cancer diagnosis. We've been hearing from Prostate Cancer UK, talking about just the impact he had in terms of, revealing that diagnosis and ensuring others went to seek help as well. And his family remembering just what a character he was.
Rob, great stuff. Thank you so much for that. And back with Rob later in the day from Greece for the vote on the IOC. But let's continue the discussion about Eddie Jordan. And delighted to say we're joined by Karun Chandhok, former racing driver, of course, himself, Sky Sports F1 commentator. Karun, a figure who had a huge impact, as Rob was outlining, on the sport, but was much loved for some of that infectious enthusiasm and charisma that we've been touching on.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, the mood here in the paddock is one of great sadness. There's definitely a somber atmosphere at the moment here in China. And, we knew Eddie was unwell. We knew that, obviously he was fighting the cancer for the last 12 months. And the news wasn't good. But still, when you finally hear that he has passed away, it is a bit of punch in the guts, because the one thing I think of immediately of when people say, what do you remember of Eddie, is his heart. He just had such a big heart. Always greeted you with a big cuddle, and, he was such a wonderful character.
How much do the top drivers, Karun, rely on some of the smaller teams giving them a break at the start? I mean, thinking of Damon Hill and Michael Schumacher in particular, would they have made it without Eddie Jordan?
I think, it's hard to tell, right? Someone like Michael Schumacher was so great. You would imagine he would have made it somehow. But absolutely, I think Eddie certainly had a philosophy of trying to promote young drivers. It wasn't just Michael, it was his younger brother Ralf, it was the likes of Ruben Barrichello, Eddie Irvine, all who went on to be Formula One race winners, Giancarlo Fisichella, another one. So Eddie really believed in young talent, young drivers coming through. He ran a successful junior Formula team. The likes of Martin Brundle and John Alesi came through his junior team in Formula 3 and Formula 3000. So he was a tremendous character. And to be honest, when you look back now, the history of F1 since he came into F1 in 1991, he was the last independent team to have come into F1 and been successful. Jackie Stewart did it with Stewart Grand Prix, but it was with a huge amount of Ford backing. Eddie really took a chance. He gambled everything, was on the edge of absolute bankruptcy, but took the gamble, worked incredibly hard with charisma and flair, and made it happen for him. And, you know, he had a 15-year run as a team boss and fought for the World Championship in 1999 with Heinz-Harald Frentzen, and was really the last true independent team boss who was successful in the sport.
Corinne, thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate getting your take there live from the paddock ahead of the Shanghai Grand Prix, of course, which will be live exclusively on Sky this weekend. But reflecting there on the sad news of the passing of Eddie Jordan, aged 76.